Alright, so it's Sunday morning. Had a good night's sleep last night. Didn't get visited by any critters. Nothing got disturbed. It's always a good practice to keep a clean campsite. That way critters tend to not find you. So 7 o'clock, and this is my campsite this morning. So that's why I always keep things put away, keep the critters away, or help to keep the critters away. Plus, if it would rain throughout the night or whatever, then everything's put away and will stay dry. So weather, I don't know. I haven't checked it. I could on my tracker, but I think I'm just gonna sit back, relax, have a cup of coffee, slowly get my day started. I want to be on the river about 9, something like that maybe. River's flowing just a little. It's not a whole lot of current. My first obstacle this morning, once I do get on the river, is the Lowhead Dam, which is a mile or so downriver. 4 years ago, I went over that with my short boat when I did this trip. And it was really good. There's a break in the dam or something. I don't know. I didn't stop and investigate like I should have. But the V was pointing, or I had a V, and I could see the outflow below that obstacle, which I didn't know until after I went over it what it was. So I went right over it. However, I don't believe I will be taking Fitzgerald over that. I think I will portage around that. I had one of the locals tell me yesterday that was what kind of partying you might say. It was a gathering, not really a party. Upriver here, that's about a foot drop, which is probably about what it was 4 years ago. But I'm guessing they take their boats over. Of course, they're jet boats, so Anyway, that's my plan. I'm gonna go get some coffee ready and have a cup of coffee. See if the cloud cover is gonna clear or if it's gonna be a cloudy day all day. And I'll check in with you later. But it is a beautiful morning. Don't necessarily have a sunrise, but because of the cloud cover, but it's still a beautiful morning. Alright, so I broke up camp. Take a look back at the campsite. I drifted downriver a little bit. You look at the campsite, and there is nothing there. So that means I got everything. So I'm gonna start our journey. Go down here and check out this Lowhead Dam that we gotta go over, go around, whatever. I've been wanting to do for the last 4 years, since the first time I went over it. So That's where we're headed. As I was told by the locals, it's a mile or two downriver. So, day number 2. Alright, so I'm at the Lowhead Dam. Thought I could get out here and walk around it. But there it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paddle upriver, get away from the water rushing in there. There's a nice V on the other side of the river, which looks like I can drop through. I've got a good outflow and everything, I just got to follow the fast water. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go back upriver a little bit so I can make a crossing. I don't want to try doing a ferry crossing right here because that'd be a really hairy ferry. And if I don't get it right, I'm going to go through there every which way, which is not good. So I'm going to attempt that and get over another shore. So I'll check in with you then. Alright, so I made it to the other bank. Now, this V that you see in the river right here, I'm really sure that's where I went through last time. But it's been 4 years ago. So, I don't know. I think what I want to do boy, I'd sure like to run through there. So this used to be a Lowhead Dam. I guess it got washed out or gave way or whatever. I sure like to run through there. But with this long boat and by myself and all my gear, I'm not sure that's such a good idea. But you can see it's got good outflow. But the thing I don't know, and you can't tell, the river says it's okay by that big V right there. But how many rocks are just under the surface that I can't see? It don't look like there is any. Jet boats run through there all the time. But being solo by myself, boy, I sure would like to run through there. But being by myself, yeah. All these ifs. Got houses up there. Would somebody see me if I get into trouble? And then how long would it take them to get to me? So, alright, so I got out of the boat, okay. And go down here. I don't know how I'm going to get the boat down here from me being on land, though. That's the thing. All these rocks and things. So here's a good put in. when I get down here. So I guess I'll bring the boat through this shallow water right here and walk it down through here. Alright, that's my plan. I'm going to come right through here. With the boat. I'm going to walk it through. And probably regret not running that. It's one of those things. How good am I really? And is today to find out? Or is today the day to find out? I don't know. Sure would be easy running through there. But it's what I don't know that I'm worried about. I'm just going to walk through it. I'll regret it, but it's probably a safe thing to do. Alright, so I made it around this Lowhead Dam, which ain't much of a Lowhead Dam anymore, but it used to be. That is sure one nice rapid, but I'm not sure I want to try it in a fully loaded touring kayak. I guess if I had no choice, then I would have ran it. I don't think there's a whole lot to worry about in there, honestly. But since I didn't have to, you know, ruling on the side of safety, because the last thing this river needs is another rescue. Or it's got a reputation for that anyway. Alright, so I'm heading on down the river. Okay, so this structure right here in front of me, on the bank right here, I believe is part of the powder mill for that Lowhead Dam right there. I believe. Not certain. But it's a neat little remains of a structure anyway. Getting shallow right there. Shallow right here too. Not hitting the water yet so far. So this little structure is kind of neat. Alright, on with the river. Alright, so I stopped and talked to a local jet boat operator. Actually, he's a fisherman, but he has a jet boat. Anyway, with that said, I asked him if he knew much at all about the Lowhead Dam upriver. And there are rocks down through there. He can make it in his jet boat, but he can't make it when he idles. So it's probably a good thing I did not run it. That could have caused me problems, especially in low water. But yeah, that's how boats go up to it. They're on plane, so their draft is about the same as mine in a kayak when they're on plane. but apparently he knows some, did he say daughters or granddaughters? I don't know, something like that. Just love coming through there on kayaks. So it is possible. I just wasn't willing to do it by myself, not knowing a lot about it. So now next time I know. So there's some information about the Lowhead Dam on the Gasconade. It is a beautiful morning to be kayaking. Beautiful day. Apparently the fish are biting. I'm not fishing on this trip. Hardly ever do. But that gentleman said they caught some nice channel cat up there. And I guess they're going out for more fishing. What a beautiful morning. This is just simply beautiful countryside. The local fisherman upriver there that I stopped and talked to said for the next, well, he's been down 3 miles from that point, which was just a little bit down from the Lowhead Dam. And he said for 3 miles downriver here, it's just open river. So I have nothing to worry about. I got some low ripples that he said I might drag on being in a kayak. But I told him, when he's on plane, we probably got the same amount of draft. So I'd be all right. And if nothing else, I could just walk. So I haven't really had any low water. Well, I had that one little spot. But speaking of low water, once I got past, or 4 miles downriver from Rollins Ferry, which was my put-in yesterday, I haven't had a whole lot of low water. The first 4 miles, there's quite a few places where I was dragging, but the river's pretty low right now. So pretty nice trip. If the river would be up maybe a foot, I think it'd be a little bit more than perfect, but it's perfect right now. You got all kinds of sandbars to camp on, to choose from. But then again, if the river was up a foot, you'd still have those sandbars. And maybe even a little more current, maybe, I don't know. But yeah. I believe when I checked last, Gasconade was going to be at like 4 foot. Find my phone, see if I got signal. Do a little bit of cheating here. Normally when I'm on the river, I don't use my phone for anything. I got just a little signal. So, Gasconade River at Hazel Green is 0.66. Jerome is 1.56 feet. Gasconade near Rich Fountain, which would be Rollins Ferry stretch of river, was at 2.4. And that's as of 4:30 this morning. So if it was 3 feet, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 or 4 feet. That's what I'm trying to say. If it was 3 or 4 feet, oh, it would just simply be fantastic. But it is like perfect right now. Okay, we got a moment. I think if I keep this line right here, I'll be just fine. I think. Nice and shallow. Not too shallow. Oh, now we're too shallow. Alright, so let me get up a little bit. Take a little walk. Fun to run through. It's not long though. Well, I chose to stay on this side. I think I can get back in now. Now we're going. All right. So I did this trip this weekend for a couple of different personal reasons. One reason was to get out and reset, which is going very nicely. It's wonderful. Out here in the wilderness, as much wilderness as you could probably get today, unless you go to places like maybe Montana. So that was one of the reasons for this trip, is to reset. Second reason is to load my kayak like I would when I do my Missouri River trip from Three Forks, Montana to St. Louis. That's at least a 3-month long trip. Living out of a kayak, living out of a tent. There are places along the way where I can get hotels and some river angels along the way where they will put me up for a night. Places that do laundromats, and some river angels will do your laundry for you, or at least let you do it. Anyway, so I've loaded the kayak on this trip with hopes I had some extra space, because on that Montana trip I got to start early in the year, well, in June, so I have the summer to finish it. But in June in Montana it could still be kind of chilly, almost cold. So I was hoping when I got loaded for this trip with all the water, 6 gallons, which is what I have with me today. I used 1 gallon yesterday, so you figure a gallon a day. And I can't take any more water. I'm maxed out on my broom for water. And I have no extra space for winter clothes, or warmer clothes than what you would wear in the summertime. So I was contemplating, well, I guess I can't do that trip, my Montana trip, unless I get a bigger kayak, which I really didn't want, because I really want to use this kayak. And I would have enough space if I put my bow deck bag on, but river conditions in Montana, I don't think it's going to work. One reason, there are some rough waters and whatever up there, and even though I load the hull with all the heavy stuff, that still plays a part in making the kayak not quite so stable. The way it's loaded right now, it's very stable. And so I was sitting there thinking, when I do that trip, I'll have to get a different kayak, and maybe I just won't even do it because, I don't know. I got a boat coming, so I got to get out of the middle of the river. Anyway, so I'm like, what am I going to do? Really want to do it. Don't really want to buy another kayak to do it. So buy a kayak or don't go. But then I was sitting there thinking, what do I do here in Missouri when I'm on a camping trip and I get a little bit chilly? I put on my rain gear, even though it's not raining. So if I was to just get a good pair of rain gear, I would have enough space in my kayak for the trip. Wave and be friendly. Just a fishing boat. He was off a little bit of a wake. He passed me going upriver a while ago. I didn't think nothing about the wake, and ended up having to last minute turn into it. So I think that's my new plan. Still use this kayak because I can do it in this kayak with all the weight, with all my camping gear. When I get chilly or cold, just put a really good set of rain gear on, which I will need anyway, which I take on every kayak trip anyway. So I think I got it. Because the thing with having a duck bag, the bad thing is those reservoirs are very big. Lake Sacagawea, I believe I got the right one in mind, takes 6 days to cross. And that's if you have good weather every day. So you need a week of good weather to cross that lake, that reservoir. And there are places along the shoreline to camp, so, you know. So I think my plan is on my Montana camping trip is to a good set of rain gear, and so I'm gonna combat the chilly temperatures on that trip. So I'm gonna say I got that trip all figured out. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do a lot more camping trips on the Missouri to practice. Not this year. I'm gonna probably start that maybe next year. For sure the year after. I wanna take a trip from Gavin's Point Dam in Nebraska. That's the last dam on the river. And come down to Jeff City. That's the last half, basically, a little less than half of the Missouri River. So that's my plan. Next year I want to do the MR340, and that's going to be my last year for that race, so I can get a lot of camping time in on the Missouri, different rivers as well, so I can deal with different river conditions, and those other rivers will give me the river conditions that I'm looking for, like the Gasconade River, because it's a fun little river, the Gasconade is, but it's not always an easy river. So I think that's my new plan. Now my Montana trip, I kind of got planned for 2028, June of 2028. So we'll see if that actually happens, which that's the plan. If it don't happen in 28, then my alternative date would be June of 2029. So that's that. If I do it in 2029, if I remember right, and if I can plan it right, I can be in Kansas City for the start of the MR340. Well, the plan for that, if I decide to go that route, would be to do the Montana trip, start in Montana, be in Kansas City, Saturday night, hopefully, maybe Sunday night. That way I can do the pre-registration and whatever, check in on Monday, since we always check in on Monday at the race. And then complete the race. We'll offload all my gear with the ground crew. And then complete the race. And then once I get to St. Charles after the race, load up again and go on to St. Louis. If I do that though, I might just stop at St. Charles and call that the trip. But then technically I won't have completed the entire Missouri River. So I'd have to go to St. Louis. So, I don't know. Something to think about. I think that's my new plan. The only other thing is to see how I can get some more food, which I don't have really a lot of space left over for any more food. So, that's an issue, but surely I can work that out. Alright, let's get back on the river. Well, we've been on the river. Let's just continue down. So I just floated into one of my followers from Facebook. That was kind of interesting. Had a nice little chat with her and her party. She was wondering when she was gonna, when I was gonna get to her stretch of the river. So I think what I probably need to start doing is posting my float plan so that my followers, like her, have a better idea of when I'm coming on their stretch of river. So lessons learned. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing. So if you follow me on Facebook, I'll start putting float plan on my trips so you know about when I should be on your home stretch of river. Alright, I got couple miles to go to my campsite. So I'm gonna get paddled to the water and get downriver. Okay, so I was coming downriver, obviously. Luckily, well, I was gonna stop at the gravel bar right here anyway and check things out. But there was some motorboat traffic. One was coming upriver, one was going downriver. And I didn't like the way the one motorboat was coming upriver when he got to this point right here. That right there could have been a nightmare. Now that looks like enough water for me to go over, and I think it would have been fine. There's a good outflow, but there's not really an outflow channel. See the hydraulics right here, all this white water. I would have cleared all that, I'm sure, so I wouldn't have got stuck in there. That's not big enough to get stuck in. But that would have been a nightmare. And then down here, now you gotta got all this fast current, and you got a very sharp left turn down there with this fast current. So that could have been really tricky in a longboat. I think I could have made it around there. Not through that. And you have to go, I don't know. Might have been able to come right here where the back of the boat is and missed that over there. Then you got these logs down here in play, right here. Right here. Oh, that'd be really tricky. And all that fast current, getting turned in it and whatever, you might have enough time right here getting back in the boat. Because I still got that fast current I got to enter into. But I'll let you know how that works out for me. So I just passed a wing dike running parallel, running with the river. Looks like there's another one, and it's right in the middle of the river. And it looks like another one down here in the middle of the river. That's kind of weird. So I got about a mile to get to my campsite tonight. It's 4:30. I'm gonna get there right about 5, thereabouts. So I'm on schedule, pushing a little bit to get there, but it's all right. I don't see very many sandbars on this stretch of the river. They kind of all disappeared. So, gonna have to get there, I guess. Alright, I'll check in with you when I get there. Alright, so I found home for the night. Problem is, I gotta get the kayak and all the gear up the top of the ramp. So, it's gonna be a little bit of a chore. I think what I'm gonna do is carry up my water and my tent and the sleeping bags, and then it won't be too bad to bring up the ramp. But I got a nice little hard shelter if need be. I guess it's open, I don't know. But here we are at Fredericksburg Access. This was my planned stop. It is, what, 4:48. I want to get here between 4 and 5. So that happened. And it looks like these are open. Yeah. Pretty clean, that one is. Wow, they're both pretty clean. I mean, I wouldn't say they're at home clean, but clean enough. And I had a couple of campsites right here. I noticed right off the bat, which is what I'm going to do because it's got a nice little shaded area there. And some more campsites over there, it looks like. So, okay, I got some work to do. So I'll check in with you after a while. Okay, so I had to unload some of the kayak. I got my 5 gallons of water. My one jug was empty, so I left it in the kayak. So I got my camp gear, my sleeping bag, and cot, and table, and my chair should be around here somewhere. Oh, the blue bag. Anyway, I took out this stuff, left the kayak like such, put the wheels on it, wheeled it right up here, and in the morning I'll wheel her back down there, and then as I break up camp, I'll just carry it down to the boat ramp, and then I'll launch at that time. So paddled for about 8 hours. I stopped and visited with a number of people, and that took some time away from me. I should have been putting paddle to the water. So tomorrow, I believe, if I remember right, let's look at my list. Got my float plan, So, well, mile marker 242, Gasconade confluence is 249, 250, somewhere in there, and then 6 miles to Herman. So I don't have a whole lot of miles to put on in the morning. Got a couple. I don't know how many I put on today. I got 20 yesterday. And I haven't checked my GPS. Last time I checked my GPS, I had 42 miles total. So I did 22 miles, maybe 23 miles today. So I got to use the day tomorrow. So I'm at a conservation campground, campsites all over, nobody's here. Problem with conservation campgrounds is there's no firewood. So that's okay. I don't need a fire. It'd be nice, but I don't need one. Maybe I can find something in the woods over here, the weeds over here, whatever, I don't know. I'm not gonna look too hard because I'm not too worried about it. But I gotta get my tent put up and get the cot put up, and then I can sit down and have me some dinner. Nice little beverage and just some chill time. I'll need to get some stuff charged up, so I gotta work on that. Walk over and see if we can see any kind of firewood laying around that somebody might have missed or might have fallen off the trees or something. I might be able to scrounge up enough firewood for a little bit of a fire. Maybe. I don't care to go stomping through the weeds. However, there's a nice little stick right there we might use. So I got a little bit of firewood to make a little bit. So anyway, I'm gonna get busy, get my camp chores done. Alright, I don't know what happened there. The GoPro did something very weird. Not sure what it did. And I done forgot where I left off at. Okay, so I got about 10 miles on the Gasconade, 6 on the Missouri to get to Herman. Once I get to Herman, I'll have some fast water, or once I get to the Missouri. But I'm looking at no current tomorrow, so we're going to see how that goes. So I will check in with you in the morning.